So before lunch, what I want to do is dive a little bit more into events and groups. Like I said, I really want to make sure that you're doing this because it's what Facebook is focusing on. But I also want to share with you how you can do some retargeting, which is how you can kind of take it to 201 instead of 101. So these are notifications I get from pages I follow. So we got that from this morning, right? If I follow a page and they post an event, I'm immediately going to get a notification. Nothing that business has to pay for. So these are some examples, and they push out notifications about events in a lot of different ways. So this is an example of Barbie, Craig, and 10 other of my friends responded to events happening tomorrow. And Mary mentioned we're nosy, right? I want to know what Barbie and Craig are going to because I might want to go to that too. So you can see how that opens up a page under events that shows events that are nearby. So location-based, but it's telling me kind of with that social proofing, people you know that are in your network are going to these events near you. You might want to consider them too, okay? This was one I got just yesterday. We found food and drink events happening near you. Now, how did they know I like food and drink? You know? I mean, it's not even nearby. It's just like, I like to eat, and I like to have beverages. I need to go check this out. So now I see that my youth group is having a baked potato fundraiser that's coming to me. Again, these businesses had to do nothing to get this pushed out to me. Facebook took care of it. All you had to do, or I had to do, is set it up as an event instead of doing it as a post. So I want you to understand what are the most important tools on the social media spectrum that you should be using, and this is why. And I get these notifications daily. Now, who else is a Zach Brown fan besides me, right? Love me some Zach Brown. So way back when I said I'm interested in an event, okay? This is a part I want you to really pay attention to. So if I check that I'm interested in an event, I get even more notifications, right? So this one's like, hey, you have an event coming up. Tickets are still available because I hadn't bought my tickets yet. Again, nothing that I had to pay for. Now, the really cool thing about that is you can actually do ads targeting people who have responded to your event. Whether you all know it or not, if you happen to check for this event that you were either interested or going, we targeted you with an ad. Now, you might say, well, at least I don't want to run an ad and only target 170 people. You know, is that going to be a good ad spend for me, right? But you're not going to say that. Why? Because we're going to go deep, not wide. So is that going to be money well spent for me to target people who've already clicked they're interested? How many of you didn't know you could do that type of targeting with an ad on an event? Oh, wow, a lot of you already knew that. So we created a little video. So if they've selected interested, but they haven't purchased, we created a video that's 5 reasons to give your boss why you should come. So I'm kind of thinking about their journey. I know that they're interested, but why might they not be coming? Let me do a video that gives them 5 more reasons about why they should come, okay? But great retargeting that you can do right within Facebook. So another good reason to use events, because you're basically building a pool of people that you can send an ad to, okay? A couple other things about Facebook events you may not realize. On the image area, that can actually be a video. So our image, which I didn't do a very good screen capture there, was actually a video that Lindsay created for us of last year's conference that had testimonials. And there's a lovely young lady in here that's featured in that. I don't know where she's at, but there she is. Thank you. And so this was great. You know, don't let me tell you why you should come. Let me have last year's attendees tell you why you should come. So just know that you can use a video in that space. You can have all these options with an event. You can boost it, you can share it, and you can do live video for people that are interested in it. Yes, sir? Well, thank you. See that? Good. So who else is going to be doing videos? Right? Right? Well, thank you. And now tell me, did you buy because of what you saw other people say about last year's? Or because I'm so cute and funny and you want to be? Yeah. Which is exactly what Mary said, right? They want to hear from other people about their experience. I can tell you you're going to have a great time and you're not going to believe me. But you're going to believe her. You're going to believe the other people that were there. So thank you for sharing that. But that's what we were thinking. So at last year's conference, we were already planning for this year's conference to get that video. So today, Olivia is tasked with taking video of me speaking because I want to take this show on the road and speak to other organizations. And so we're going to create a little promo video of me doing that first presentation that you saw today. So we're already planning ahead to get those things scheduled so that we can use them, okay? So thank you for that. So any questions about events? Just want to make sure you're still doing them or that you start doing them, okay? Those are important things. So let's talk about groups. How many of you said that you have groups going on in your business right now? A few, so I know there's a chamber member group. We have a YoPro group too? Or just, because the YoPros aren't on Facebook. I know, I hear you. They will be when they have babies, right? But anyway, this is a really important stat that I want you all to kind of take in. Out of over 2 billion active Facebook users, 200 million people are members of Facebook groups, yet a very small percentage of businesses have a well-defined strategy to leverage groups. So even if you have a group, and I will tell you, we're guilty of this too, we don't have as good of a plan as we should. So some of the things I want to share with you together, or share with you today, and give you some ideas if you want to start a group. I think you understand why you should. Because you want to take those people and kind of put them in a community where they can share and they can communicate, and that's what Facebook wants, right? We want like-minded people. So you have to think about your industry and what type of group would appeal to them. They don't want to feel like this is a sales area, right? They want to think that this is something that by bonding with these other similar people, it's going to improve my life, okay? So what does that group look like? They're craving being seen and heard. You know, people really want to connect, and they can do that in groups, and especially if you have one that's really good. So we're going to bring together like-minded people in need of a product or service, possibly. We want to build close relationships with your tribe. You know what I mean? Like, the whole word tribe is interesting because it's just your people. People like you, people that you relate to. That's what the culture of groups is all about. And we want to develop a built-in audience for those new products and services down the road, okay? And you really want to position yourself as a thought leader. You've heard that multiple times today. It is really, really important. So some of the things that you want to ask yourself if you're going to start a group, and I won't go through all of these, but definitely define it. You know, what is the purpose? And that comes down to how you name the group. You know, if we just named our group Perry Productions Clients or Perry Productions something, no one knows who Perry Productions is. So ours is social media for small business, and we have another one that is social media for nonprofits. So we clearly spell out we're going to treat those two differently, because in a lot of the early seminars I did, people would always say, well, that's a great example for business to business, but how does that translate to a nonprofit? So by separating them and giving them specific content, they connect to that more, okay? So think about what the purpose is, what's your main message, how big do you want to get? I'm going to show you examples of groups. Remember, we don't want to go big all the time. Sometimes you want to keep a group small. And what's going to be the structure and what are going to be the rules. So let's take a look at some examples. I just joined the Western Carolina parents, because my son is going to college. And signed up for notifications. So like I said, if you're going to run a group, encourage people to sign up for notifications, because I now know that these ladies posted in this particular group, okay? So just wanted to make sure and show you that. When you're thinking about a group, it's a movement, not a business. And Mary talked about this too. These are some hashtags that groups are built off of. Fit Life, Girl Boss, Boss Mom. I will tell you, the ladies are killing this, okay? We are going to get together and we are going to rule the world. But Boss Mom is women who work, right? And I love this No Small Creator one. The gentleman who I heard on a podcast was talking about starting a vlog. And you don't have to have any followers to start a vlog, he said, because there is no small creator. And then that turned into a movement to motivate people and say, you don't have to be huge. There are no small creators. So, you know, when I shared my vlog, that's a group that I'm responding to. Cabco YoPro is a great group. You know, there's these young people, millennials. Am I going to join the chamber? Is the chamber like my dad's old chamber, right? What's in it for me? So they've done a great job by giving that group an identity and giving it a brand, and I think it's working really well. And solopreneurs. So just kind of understanding that groups are a little bit on a movement or a lifestyle and culture. So you really want to, like I said, you're going to get all these presentations. I put these in here just as questions that you can ask yourself before you're setting up a group, or if you have an existing group, maybe rethink it and make sure that you're using this when you're setting up a strategy. The interesting thing about a group is eventually you want it to run itself. You know, I work with the Y, and we have the West Cabarrus community group. Our goal is that members will be talking to members in that group, because as they stay connected, they're more likely to come in and work out. We're not there yet. Right now, we're posting, trying to get them to, and sometimes you got to tell them what to do. You've got to get them more engaged. Eventually, though, they'll take these different roles. They'll be the person that's the motivator, the coordinator, the connector, and those things will eventually happen, but you have to kind of kickstart it. So think about who your ideal audience is, and then create maybe prompts that will get them to speak about these different things. What are their personality traits? What do they like? What kind of images or messages appeal to them? What are their frustrations and fears? Ask them. You remember you heard Mary say, they want to weigh in, right? They want to be asked. They want to be part of the decision process. Groups are great places to do that, and it helps you, be able to develop further marketing content for them. Hint, this is the same as your ideal client, really. And hopefully you've spent the time to think about who is your ideal client and who would be the best fit. Groups definitely have rules. They can be public, private, or secret. Just wanted to touch briefly on which one you should choose. So a private group is searchable, but you have to request access. So you're usually given 3 questions that kind of qualify you. And whoever runs the group doesn't have to say yes to everybody. So if somebody wants to join our West Cabarrus Y community, but they live in Idaho, that doesn't really make sense, right? They're not necessarily a potential client. But if you have an online business, you don't need to have those kind of restrictions. A secret group, you can't find on search. It's secret, and someone has to be invited or shared, and I'm going to show you an example of that. And then a public group, just anybody can join. Don't really recommend public groups most of the time. I think it's better to have a little bit of control over that. So these are the example of 2 different groups with the Y that, like I said, we've started and are just now starting to get going. But the secret one was this My Next Level, which was a program that they paid for, right, Christina? It was $50. And part of the value of that group is that you got a private community on Facebook to share your progress with. The goal was fitness and weight loss. So we wanted to keep it secret because it's something people paid for, and this adds value, okay? But it was a place to encourage, and get people in on the journey together, and we wanted to create a group. Now, the other group that we have is public. We still want to qualify people, but we want people to find that. Almost every day, somebody's joining that community, so that's going well. So this is an example of another organization in town that's killing the group demographic, and that's Cabarrus Brewing Company. And what are all these groups? Running, biking, yoga, and running. Not normal things that I do before I have a beer. But this generation that they were talking about, what did she say she wanted in that whole orchestra experience, right? Something social before or after. So, Berkeley is shaking his head at me. I'm feeling you. But this is what they're looking for. And look at these communities. Now, I will tell you, our mayor, I think, started that run club, right? Who's a very, very cool guy. But Cabarrus Brewing Company is brilliant to do this because even though they are not selling bikes or running shoes, they want to build community and say, hey, come together here, go for your run, and then, stay, have a beer. So great way to use groups. Just want to briefly talk about, please set rules for your groups because they can definitely get out of hand. One of the things that I see and hear a lot is folks who want to self-promote. Like they join a group and then they're promoting all about their own business, themselves. you need to clearly outline your rules, and then you need to enforce them. It's kind of like parenting, right? You definitely have to enforce them because nothing will take your group down faster than someone who's abusing the rules. So make sure there's ways to post them, and you can always direct people to them. One of the things I like that Sunny Lenarduzzi does is actually on Wednesday, excuse me, she does a specific post called Way to Go Wednesday. So she does the post and allows anybody to self-promote in the comments. So that's your opportunity. If you want to say, hey, I'm launching a new online course, or hey, I've got an event coming up, that's where she says, go at it. Don't post it on the page. Don't post it on Tuesday or Thursday. Post it on Way to Go Wednesday in the comments. And that works really well for her group. So establish ways that people can do that. You want to grow your group, promoting it on your website, existing social platforms, maybe even create a video specifically talking about the value. Why should I join your group? What value am I going to get out of it? And other things you can do is include in the group kind of exclusive things. Like we could have taken our Instagram challenge and made that part of our group. So if you're in the group, you get this kind of a VIP experience. Be in the group and you get this or that. So some different things that you can do. This is an example of the why. And when I say tell people what to do, this was a video or a picture that one of the instructors shared. We took it and put it in the community and said, hey guys, share more pictures like this, your experiences at the Y. So while we're posting it now, what we're trying to do is to share or encourage our members to share their experience. So maybe what we can do is, in May, focus on moms. Moms, share your experience. So really starting to build that community, but sometimes you got to tell people what to do. They're shy at first. They want to be seen and heard, but at first, it takes a little bit before they get going. So don't be afraid to ask. These are some topic prompts that Dana Malstoff did when she first launched her Boss Mom. And you can see she had a topic for each day. So something different, encouraging people to post about those specific things, collaborating, Friday with friends. So it's okay to put prompts out there until your group gets going. Another thing that you can do is involve your people. It doesn't have to all fall on you. Have different roles. One person running a group can be overwhelming. But the great thing about that is it's great to see other people. It's better to post in a group as a person than as the brand. So that way, you can give different people in your organization different roles of what they're doing in the group. Oops, skipped one. Another cool thing about groups, suggested groups. So once your group, and the thing I like about the algorithm for groups right now is it's percent of engagement. So it's not if you have 100,000 people in your group, if only 10 are active. If you have 200 people in your group, but 200 are engaged, that algorithm reads that as a really positive group. So even that is in the go deep, not wide range. So really trying to get as many people in your group involved as possible. It's another good reason to make sure you qualify who's in your group, okay? So there's some other types of posts in here. I really want to get you guys to lunch, so I'm just going to have this for you in the PDF, but decision post, call to arms post, opinion post, some other things that you can do to really prompt people to get involved, especially when you're first launching a group. This is just the insights. Please always look at insights no matter what you're doing on Facebook. Groups has its own set. And like I said, what you want to look at is engagement rate, like how many of the folks, members in your group are actually engaged. And this is just another example of a paid group that adds value. So this is a private group that Amy Porterfield does. So if you buy her online course, you get a private group. Hers is limited to 4,000 people. And she goes live in that group once a week. So they get kind of coaching from her. She asks for the questions a day ahead, but she is engaging with them on a weekly basis, but that's a paid value for her course. So lots of different things you can use your course for, but all of them are bringing people together in a community. So I know that was a lot in a short period of time. I wanted to make sure we gave Berkeley plenty. Does anybody have any questions about groups or events? You're hungry. Okay, let's eat. All right, let's eat.